Alrighty, so we had another cheeky little attempt. Now, one thing I want to show you guys is we have a very clear wedge forming right now. And what we got to love about wedges is it gives you a little bit of an estimate to understand how long we could stay between a range. It's very obvious right now that we have Bitcoin hovering between the 23,500 and we have the 25,000. Now, the big question is, and this is why I went with the 𝗬𝗏, don't buy more just yet, because we may have slightly more better support buys, because as you can see, there's a lot of altcoins that broke out the last few days, and they simply just coming to test support. There's no huge rejections. There's no nothing like that. But we need to always be aware that we are at a 25K level, and this is the most important level for bears to hold. But the big question is we have had now multiple attempts. We've had Bitcoin. This is a 1 hour chart. We've literally had many attempts of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6. There's even another one over here that we've attempted 6 times. We're attempting this $25,200 level. Now, the big question is, are we eating away the wall? Are we coming up and chomping that wall? We know there's a big wall there. We know that the bears, the guys that have been running this market for the last 12 to 16 months to the downside, we know they're trying to hold this level because they know what comes next if we get through it. Are we trying and we eating away? And what they say many times is when you have a resistance or you have a level and we hit and we hit and we hit and we hit, eventually we break through, right? That's the first question. Or second question, are they offloading? Are the big guys, every time we get into this area, are they selling and offloading their bags? Because as you can see, it takes so long to get up to these areas, and then we get in these big red candles, big red candles. That's the big question. Are they trying to hold it or they're offloading? So it's going to be a big show going through the different levels, what I think we should be buying on this pullback, where I think we should be protecting, and when I think this next breakout can actually happen. The stock market came down today, and it came down exactly at the time where Bitcoin got rejected. We need a strong stock market. We have a lot of news coming this week. Guys, it's a massive week. I think in this week, we're going to have the full understanding of which way this market's moving and where we go next. No more wasting time, James. Let's get into the show.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon 𝗕𝗬𝗓𝗧. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, hope you're having a fantastic day out there so far. If you're brand new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you are joined Sniper School. If you deposit $100 or more into the Sniper School, links below, you will then go register for Sniper School, put your user ID in, and you'll get immediate access to our next cohort, to all the pre-recordings, and then we have the live event coming. It's happening next week. The first event's next week, and then after that, we start the 3 live events. Guys that have done Sniper School are performing double than what a normal Crypto Banter user does. So I just want to show you the power of being educated throughout these times. We're expecting a bull run next year, so use this year to get really good at this game so that you can live off crypto. You know, that's the ultimate goal. Let's jump in, guys. Let's actually jump in straight away and let's get going. So first thing, we know this now. We know the important level. We know we have the 200 weekly moving average, the 50 moving average on the weekly at the 25K 200. We can see it very clearly on the charts now. Every time it gets to exactly 25,000 to 25,200, we're getting this little offload sort of routine. Now, think about it. It's very similar here. And this is where the 2 big scenarios play out because we have to pay attention. We have to. Luckily, we're forming a nice pattern. And because we're forming a nice pattern, I'm able to help you protect and help you to know when you should de-risk. Because end of the day, market is bullish, right? So it is looking really good. But the question is now, we've attempted here, does it break at the first attempt? And let's not deny it. We've been hovering here for a while now, 24.25, 24.25. We're hovering. But the question is, do we attempt here first? Do we break through straight away? Or maybe we come back for bigger retracements? And then we attempt it, in the next month or two. It's all these big questions that we're having, but we can't deny on the higher time frame we are bullish. It's just about what pullbacks do we buy and how big of pullbacks should we buy, and when should we be aware of a bigger correction, something that can go down way lower than what we actually think. And it's just about being smart in this game right now to know that even though we're still bullish, if I do protect myself here and we do go here, I'm able to have 20% more tokens, or I'm able to have bigger bags if I do get at these lower areas. What it comes down to in crypto is the price of where you bought the token, your entry price. You got a good entry price, you can hold throughout the whole bear market. Like, ask the guys that have Bitcoin at 5K. Do they give a crap? You know what I mean? Like, they've bought it once at that good level and they've never had to worry about it again. And that's what it comes down to in crypto. So I want to always remind you guys about that. But then we have, very much the second scenario where we're ready to go. We're ready to rumble. We are eating the most important wall, I would say, that's of 2023. I would say in the last year and a half, this is the most important level, because it is one that we've never dropped below the weekly 200 moving average. And it was one of the first times that we did in the last year. And now we have opportunity to get back above that. And as long as we've been above that, we've always had a raging market that's always respected the timeframes, always respected that a bull run comes every 4 years, all these sort of things. So we do have the two different scenarios, and we have the two big gaps that I wanted to highlight for you guys. So we're at a critical level. We're at a level where there's a big gap back down to the early 21Ks, and there's a big gap that goes all the way up to the 28 to the 30K region. Now let's jump in and let's quickly simplify it on the shorter time frames so that we know what we're looking at. So when it comes down to this, it's a basic chart. Now we have two options here. We have a bull flag, right? Something where we sit and you could see it's basically giving us, because we're not making like super lower highs and things like that, we're making very similar highs. It's forming this longer sort of wedge, longer one. And when that happens, it shows you time. It shows you that we could be sitting here for a while. Makes sense. Very important level, right? But then what it does is it prints us two patterns, two possibilities of what could happen. We have the scenario of a bull flag. And what would a bull flag basically mean? A bull flag would mean that at some point, even higher lows here, for me, this is still a definite buy the low if we do come down on support. And I'll explain to you why in the altcoins and why we are buying this dip. But we're buying, and our risk to reward, our stop loss and stuff are nice and tight, and we'll be protected. But we don't want to lose the opportunity of where we're at. But we have the bull flag, and the bull flag basically means a little bit more time here, and we go right, and we start shooting to the way stronger levels. Then what we have is the second scenario, which sort of falls down to a 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗃, which / falls down to the 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗃 scenario as well. And what that basically means is a reversal pattern. And when we sit somewhere for so long, it's very similar to the pattern that we had on Bitcoin at 65,000 the first time we made all-time highs, where it was at 65 for a little while. And it basically went sideways like this for, a good 2 months, 3 months. And it ended up becoming a 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗃. Now, 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗏𝗏, what it basically means is this. It means that we do something like this, and it actually sends this out. Okay? And it gets the whole world to think we're going to the moon. And it fakes this out, it drops it over here, and we end up falling a 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗃, which we've seen many times, where we end up having this huge collapse area over here. So we do have this scenario as well, which are the two main different patterns. And this is going to be critical. That's why we don't want to buy this. We don't want to buy the break of the trend on the Bitcoin. We want to buy support. We want to buy here on this pullback. We want to buy on this level over here because it's very simple. Stops here. And as soon as Bitcoin breaks, stops here. And then we covered over both scenarios. Firstly, we're in some profit. Amazing. But secondly, we have a stop right there in case this thing fakes at any point. But be aware, these are the two things. Either they're going to try the biggest trick in history where they're literally going to just pop this thing up. Everyone thinks it's going to the moon and they're going to fake it out completely. And that would be a 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗃. And that would be brutal. That would be literally Bitcoin going to 26 and being back down to the early 20s in 1 week. It would be something that goes absolutely crazy. That's why we want this pullback that's happening right now. We want this area over here so that we can already have everything ready in play. So this is a good pullback, and it's a good one that we're getting taking advantage of, but we're also prepping for both scenarios that come on a little later. Now, what's obviously slowing the market down slightly is we have a lot of the other stock markets around the world that are pumping and in all-time high territory, but we do have the stock market, playing around. You could see here. So literally, it was a few hours ago where stock market just started coming down pretty hard. And we basically have the DXY rising again. But, this is something that's annoying. And it's basically also creating a slight uncertainty within crypto as well. And it's looking pretty weak, and it's looking like it wants to come down pretty hard. So we're very near losing the temporary 4-hour low on the futures. But if we look over here, it could be just another support buy in this area here, because we are starting to get RSIs daily getting to the bottom, which is good. So this is also something that is just slowing Bitcoin down every time it gets to those major levels, because everyone's slightly uncertain. We have a bullish crypto, but we got a bearish stock market. We have a DXY that's rising. We have a DXY that's showing strength. Now, DXY still a very important chart. What I do like about it is the DXY bulls are also running out of time. They either have to break through this very soon, and we know we got news this week. We got numbers coming out and all these sort of things. So we know there's more popcorn time coming. But they are running out of time. And because the RSIs, we can see they're sitting at a higher point over here. And if we could still hold the DXY below these levels of the 105 and something like that, and we can have a rejection, that would be really, really, really good. And we can continue the momentum. But we do need to be aware. We don't want to come back into this range. We don't want 105, 106 on the DXY and things like that. So not only is the Bitcoin at a critical level, stock market's at a critical level, because if this breaks back in, stock market has a bigger correction. If it rejects here, stock market holds the bull flag support, and we move from there. So we could see that this is all things that are playing into the market right now. So we have a good understanding. So let me just finalize the Bitcoin, and then we jump into the altcoins, because I see Fantom looking strong. Fantom's looking really good right now. So let's jump back in over here. Cool. So Bitcoin support. Now, I'm not 100% it will come down and test it. I hope it does, so we can get even better entries. But basically from here, it means that Bitcoin could possibly come down to the early 24,000s. For me, these are buy areas. These are areas that I'm loading up because dominance is slightly going up right now with Bitcoin coming down. It means you literally focused on the Bitcoin chart. And when Bitcoin's in the zone, your altcoins are in the zone, because everything is following, that sort of suit. And the level we don't obviously want to come below is the 23,800. And if that did have to happen, there would be time for us to de-risk, because it would do something like this. And we would obviously de-risk on that little push to the upside. But these are levels we want to hold. After that, I know we have 2 big days of news, and it's basically still informing that this pullback over here, that we should actually do a little bit more of this before we actually do go into the higher territory levels or the higher level sort of zones. So be aware of that too. And obviously the 25,200 is breakout. That one properly. Just be aware that when this happens, just have those stops in play. Have them in play, because we just got to counter out, which I'd probably say is around 27, 28. Counter out the 𝗦𝗶𝗍𝗍𝗍 the shakeout scenario, where they send this wick, they make everyone believe it's going, and then they completely wreck and turn the whole market really quickly. So very basic when it comes to Bitcoin. Remember, guys, join Discord. You will get all these charts, and that will help you guys a lot. Dominance. So you can see dominance right now, hovering around this trend. But it does look strong every time Bitcoin does get rejected, and it looks really strong every time Bitcoin goes into 25K. So that just shows you, again, focus on the Bitcoin chart. Focus on the Bitcoin chart. I'll show you the altcoins. Ooh, look at Fantom. Let's actually jump to Fantom right now. Okay, guys, here we go. I spoke about Fantom. Fantom's one that's going against the trend right now, and it's one we've been waiting for. But here's the trend. Here's the inverse head and shoulders, and it's breaking trend as we speak. This one, I'll protect myself at around 51 cents. I'll protect myself, just put a stop in case Bitcoin just falls at any point really hard. But this looks good. This looks really strong right now. And I think we're finally going to get Fantom to run to the mid 60 cents, if not higher. So if there's one that you're looking at and you're waiting for Fantom, I do think this is still a trade of the day. It's one, look how it's printing green. The whole market's red, printing green, looking strong as hell. So Fantom, remember, I do have the targets of 65 cents, and I do have the targets of 80 cents. So either way, it's a really good risk to reward right now, because you basically take your risk to reward tool, the long position tool, we'll put it in right now where we're at, and you're basically looking around about a 4.8 stop loss percent, and you're looking at a 22% as a TP level, risk to reward of 1.4, if not a lot higher. So if you wanted Fantom and you weren't able to get it the last few while, Fantom is looking really good at the moment. Let's go through some of the big ones we've been talking about. Solana is the first one. Cool. So Solana broke that trend, right? Amazing. Made the higher high. There's the higher high. Very clear. Boom. Looking amazing right now. And it's coming to retest. So nothing's broken in. This is why, for me, it's not a sense of after this low, we're putting stops exactly basically at our entries. But for me, this isn't something that's reversed all the markets, reversed all the altcoins. It's actually made everything come into support. It's actually made everything coming into better buy areas and levels of confirmation buys, if you want to call it. So we had this long-term trend. Amazing. We broke the 200-day moving average. Fantastic. And now we are literally testing. So for me, my buying zones are between $24 and $25 on Sol right now. I'm buying quite a bit of it today. And if you have a look here, if you want to know emergency lines and you want to do some risk to reward and protect yourself, which I do always suggest, definitely put stops in play. There's two different scenarios with Sol here. If Bitcoin does decide to extend a little bit more, there is a possibility it does come between 22 and 23. But this is the trend line that's also my protection. Also the zone of where I want to make sure stop losses. So my stop losses will be sitting in the range between 21 and 22 is my stops. But if you look at this, where it comes to the higher time frame, your risk to reward, I'm going to even take from the spot that we are at now over here. And I'll take the stop losses, this area over here, 10%, bigger stops, definitely, but 68% to the upside. Risk to reward ratio of 1:6. So for me, Solana is definitely a buy on this pullback. Just remember, you have the area of 24.25, definitely, and you have slightly lower at the 23 to 24 area too. So that's amazing as well. So Solana, I'm still very bullish on Solana. It still broke that trend. It's still holding the trend. So I'm taking advantage. People get very, very, very scared on pullbacks, but so bullish when it comes to breakouts. So you need to flip your mind, get the better entries, and we're getting entries now. We're getting some discounts. So stay focused and pay attention. So what we have here with AVAX too is AVAX. We do have the possibilities of between $19 and $20. That is my buy zone for AVAX. The higher time frames still well outside of trend. It does have we're still above 200-day moving average. Amazing. But what we also have is this trend line over here on the 4-hour that we are forming right now. So I'm not afraid to be loading up on this dip, but I'm also saving some capital to load up on the breakouts. And like I said, this stuff's really good. You need smaller and decent pullbacks after big leg, guys, because it helps you update your stop loss. So remember, if the market only just goes up, so for example, if this comes down like this, right, and we break a trend and we decide to just do this, it makes it really hard, because you're basically buying the break of the breakouts and you're putting a stop loss here. But if this thing just keeps going, like, where do you put your stop loss? You know, you can't move it because you don't have a higher low. You don't have anything like that. You're waiting for this pullback over here so that you can update your stop loss. Once that pullback's happened and we've had a pullback and we break up again, now you can take your stop loss all the way from down here and you can move it all the way back up to there. So it's really good to have some pullbacks because it helps you update. So the same thing over here now with AVAX. Let me just get rid of all these drawings here. Same thing with AVAX right now. Is here, we are looking at down to these areas and this, but when it breaks out and it starts to make here, it's great. Now you can finally update that stop loss. You can finally start moving it up and start having it at reasonable areas. So this pullback's good. So for me, like I said, AVAX between, I would even say 18.7 to the 19.5 area is where we're possibly getting. And maybe even, 18.5 makes sense. I would be having stops around 17. So it's a little bit bigger for now. But like I said, from once this is here and we do get through these areas over here, we get to move that stop all the way back up and reduce all of the risk. But AVAX, again, another big one. Same with Cardano. straight to support, right? Straight to support over here. So same thing, Cardano. It's coming to my zone of entry again between 38 and 39 cents. There is one more possibility of 37. I'm not guaranteed these lower ones just yet, because these low ones only happen for me if Bitcoin loses that wedge, which I'll update on Twitter or anything like that. But for me, any ones here, the last 2 times, if you bought them here, it was instant cash after that, right? And now you're at that level again. So never double question, you know, these pullbacks and things that are happening. So here's same thing, push. When we break that trend over there, you can move your stop loss and these sort of things. So I'll update you guys on the stops and stuff. ADA is another one. Solana, AVAX, amazing. Polkadot, no buy zone for me just yet. So I'm hoping Polkadot comes to 6.8, then some more. So nothing on DOT just yet. Nothing on Matic just yet. No buys there just yet. Theta did hit a main resistance. Nothing on buys just yet. These are all down here. It's hard to get the buys, guys. They don't just come. So I've mentioned 3 that are in the buy zones already. No, VET, not on there just yet. Maybe even a little bit of TP area for you guys for now. Nothing there just yet. ZOL, nothing just yet. These coins are all still so bullish, you know. There is a small one coming on Chainlink around 7.5, 7.6, and there is an area of the 7.2. And like I said, once we break through of that, we'll update the stops. Yeah, so I'll dip my toes a little bit around 7.5 on Chainlink, but hopefully we can get it early 7s. That would be really good. Let's look at Near Protocol, nearly there, 2.5. We broke out, high, amazing. So for me, I'm hoping we can get this area over here. And there is one more area of 2.43. So Near is another one I'm definitely buying on this dip. Thorchain, amazing. I'm still very happy with that. I'm hoping we can even get it slightly lower at the 1.73, but I'm still buying Thorchain on this pullback. DYDX, you're finally getting your entries. Finally, we're getting there. We're getting the entries of the 2.6 to 2.7 range. That's the area. I am definitely buying DYDX on this pullback. And we have this beautiful trend where we can buy emergency if we don't get the original buys. So DYDX, you love the pump, right? You love the $1 to the 3.8. I still have $4.5 as my target for DYDX. So there's finally an entry over there. We got Render, not buying right now. PBX, 𝗟𝗲𝗃, these are ones I'm still dollar costing into, taking time on those ones. We got ALGO, amazing. So there's buy zones on ALGO here, basically between the 27 and 28. Stop losses are around about the 25.60 for now. But like I said, after this retest and we break through, our stops are coming all the way here. You should be, by the time this market bounces, right? This is how you know you're getting good. It's your choice if you want to come and watch the shows when the market's bullish and you're not watching when it's bear. It's fine. What I need you to do is on this next bounce, I need your risk to be this. I need your risk that you got such good buys and such good retest buys that when the market bounces now, your stop losses are there. I don't want to hear any of you buying late and these sort of things. You should have no risk after this next bounce. Your stop losses should be at your entries. Must be. Like, these are things that you need to focus on. So be very aware of that. GRT looking pretty strong, looking good. Who got the buys yesterday? Raise the hands. Who got the buys? There was the buys. It's looking strong. Once it's through the 18.5, we're looking at a nice acceleration back into the higher levels. So GRT, market's not bearish, guys. This is a small pullback, but you need to take advantage of them and get your risk. These lows are really good. Same thing with Cosmos here. Cosmos, the buy areas right now, 13.7 to the $14 range. Great. And like I said, when this is up, that's exactly where your stop losses are going to be. You know, the 14 range, and you're going to be out of risk. So Cosmos is another really good one. Arweave, we're nearly there. Okay, Arweave's entering now. First entry, we could see over here. Boom. So you didn't get Arweave and you enjoyed the pump the other day. Now you got an entry. So there's first entry over there, and you have second entry. That's in this area. So first entry is at 11.5 to $2. Second one is basically the 10.9 to the 11.2. So Arweave, boom. We're still expecting. I'm still looking at $20 as my next TP areas. These are many different ones. Filecoin, no. Still very long until we get entries there again. Engine, no, but if you can get it 46 cents. Amazing. Not there yet. So these aren't major. Let's actually look at Moonbeam. Not yet, but guys, pay attention to all these supports here. You enjoyed the pumps, right? So let's get the entries for the next ones. So hopefully you can get Moon River, sorry, between 10.2 to 10.5. That would be really good. I spoke about Tezos yesterday, which took off beautifully. 1.15 is where we want it. Okay, so I've given you guys even XRP. I saw the XRP element was talking to me yesterday. It is faked out right now, but be aware of XRP on this trend line over here. On the next push, if Bitcoin breaks out, XRP is going to rip, and it's got a 41% to 82%. So I would wait for the break of trend on that, but XRP is definitely looking incredible. Let's look at Super. Oof, these things have done well, guys. These are just small-term pullbacks. So I'll speak about the rest tomorrow. We'll go through. I want to see where the market ends off today. Keep that wedge in mind of Bitcoin. I want you to buy these pullbacks, balance your portfolio, get the right tokens, and I want you to, on the bounce, update your stop losses and get your risk to this. If not, 2 to 3% mask. If this market bounces and Bitcoin gets above and it's in 26, 27K, I want you all to have no risk. No risk means you have a stop loss at your entries, but it's good stop losses. It's not stop losses where you're going to get stopped out and in shitty areas, and because you bought late, you put it there. You don't want to get stopped in and out the whole time. It's annoying, right? So make sure that you're getting the right levels. On the next breakup, we update our stop losses. Today's show is about you eliminating your risk. If the market goes to 21,000 today, are you ready for it? Ask yourself that question all the time. If we bounce, have you got what you want? Did you buy in the right areas? And have you reduced your risk? Have a fantastic day. Join Sniper School and join Twitter. If anything big happens, I'll do a Twitter Spaces. Have a fantastic day and much love, Fantom.